All right. So in Game of Thrones, there's this dude, Jon Snow, and when you meet him, and Sean Bean is there, and it's winter, and they talk, and Jon is like, I don't think it's gonna be safe here for that long, and Sean Bean is like, bro, don't worry about this. I got this. I'm king. What could go wrong? But they all have wolves except for this blonde kid who is a king, but he's really mean, and he comes around and he's like, I'm gonna kill these other kids, and Sean Bean is like, are you sure you should do that? And he goes to Sean Bean and he's like, I'm king. You can't really tell me what to do. And everyone is like, okay, I thought Sean Bean was king. But then he dies, and there's this other guy who's super tall, and he really likes to eat chicken, but he's not that important until there's one scene where the tall lady knight is like, let's fight. And he's like, oh, dope. And they fight, and both of them die. And there's also this dragon lady who gets banged and stuff, and it's honestly pretty weird. But after there's this big fire, and Aquaman comes out, and he's like, oh shit, and dies. And the dragon lady comes out, and she's like, yeah, I'm queen now. And all the sand boys are like, yeah, fireproof queen sounds good. So they go meet these other sand boys, and there are some slaves or something like that, and Dragon Lady sets up a lot of them to look like Jesus or something to ward off bad spirits, like the bad spirit men above the ice wall who are constantly like trading babies for more spirit men in the woods or something. Oh yeah, there was this pregnant lady, and she was like, I'm so happy to be with you. And the guy was like, yeah, babes, for real. And then the girl sees like this person walking around outside, and she's like, well, you seem innocent enough, but he wasn't. And he actually had chainmail. And she was like, and the pregnant lady and this dude die. And there's actually, John dies too, but the girl brings him back as long as he promises to go into the woods for more spirit trades, and he does. But there's this whole like dragon situation developing with this bitchy wine lady versus the dragon lady, and they're both like, you can't have this land, it's my land. But I don't think they ever meet. And there's this white horse, and it's super important. It will come up later as he is integral to the story, but actually they stopped having a story, and you can tell because John's sister gets stabbed like 100 times in the chest, and she swims it off in a sewer river, and everyone was like, wow. And there's this little dude, and he's like the sassiest of them all, and you know because he sees his dad on the toilet, and it doesn't even look like a king's toilet, and that's some kind of social commentary, I'm sure. And he's like, make my day, or some cool shit, and blasts him with a crossbow, and later tells everybody, who has a better story than this guy? And everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? And the thing you got to know about him is that he's the main character, because earlier there was this guy in a tree, and he was like, you're gonna be king. And he was like, bullshit, dude, I'm barely a character, I can't even walk. But the tree man was right, and there's this dragon fight, and it's like, whoa, sploosh, and there's this like fire, and this whole fire thing is like a theme, and the brother husband of that bitchy wine lady runs at a dragon, just like jumps out of the way or something, and he meets this old sassy lady, and he's like, drink this tea, and she's like, fine, but I killed that king kid, and he's like, you bitch. And she drinks the tea and dies, and then he dies, and Sean Bean is there, and when you meet him, there's this dude, Jon Snow, in Game of Thrones.